Happen Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Hello students and a warm welcome to this class of Business Studies Standard 12th. I am Santosh Gaus from Shri Bhumika High Secondary School, Puri. I will be taking 4th chapter in Business Studies, Planning. What are the learning objectives of planning chapter? After studying this chapter, you should be able to state the meaning of planning, describe the importance of planning, explain the limitations of planning, analyze the steps in the process of planning, and identify the different types of planning. In our everyday life, what we do before buying? If we want to go in a market to do shopping, we prepare a shopping list. If we want to go on a tour, we decide in advance about in which place we will go. So in which month we will go. So what will be the duration, mode of transport, what would be the hotel, and what will be the total expenditure. So if you want to buy a car, then we will collect the information like the price, color, brand, segment, and a date on which we want a delivery of the product. Similarly, when we want to construct a house, we will collect the information like the location, the area, the blueprint of the house, what should be the front of the house, what would be the color of the house, whether it will be a 2 BHK, 3 BHK or a 4 BHK. So my dear students, here in all the areas, in all the situations, what we are doing? We are collecting the information before buying. So planning is all about thinking in advance what we want to achieve in future. Let us see the meaning of planning. Planning means deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, and by whom it is to be done. Now what means? We should be very specific what we want. When means when we want to achieve this goal. How means how we are going to achieve this goal. And who is going to take the responsibility to complete that task or a goal. Similarly, we can say one more meaning of a planning. Planning bridges the gap between present and the future. That is where we are and where we want to go. Planning is the primary function of management. There are many functions of management: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. But the planning is the primary function of management. Here you can see where we are and where we want to go. So bridges the gap between the where we are and where we want to go is called as planning. So planning means, you can see here in the picture, the company, they have set a goal in the present that they want to achieve a profit of rupees 2 crores in the future. Now how the company is going to achieve this goal or a target of rupees 2 crores profit? The company is going to think about it, and that thinking process is called as planning. So planning means we are deciding today what we want to achieve in the future. Now let us see the importance of planning. Planning provides direction. Planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. Planning promotes innovation. Planning facilitates decision making. Planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. And planning provides standards for controlling. Here there is a famous quote given by Napoleon Hill. Create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. So whether we are ready or we are not, it is better always to have a plan. So my dear student, planning plays a very, very important role. Planning is required in the business organization to achieve the goals so that the business organization can become successful. Now let us see one by one all the importance of planning. Let us see the first one. Planning provides direction. So planning plays a very important role. Under planning function, we set a goal, individual goals, departmental goals, as well as common goals of the business organization. All the activities of the different departments are directed towards the common goals. Now these common goals towards which all these activities are directed, these common goals are set under planning function. Now these goals or objective should be simple and well defined. This goal should be simple and well defined. That is, it should be in the SMART formula. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and a time bound. If the people are going to come to know about their goal well in advance, definitely it will become easy for them to work on it. So without a planning, people will work in a different direction. With the planning, people will get the right direction and they will work in their right direction. This is how the business organization is going to achieve its goal. The second point, planning reduces the risk of uncertainty. Uncertainty means lack of knowledge about the future happenings and the future events. So here the manager conduct environmental scanning and analyze the business environment, and he gets the valuable information about the future happenings, about the future events. So as the manager is getting the valuable information about the future events, he can create a strategy to tackle all such problems. As we know that we cannot eliminate the uncertainty, but we can reduce the impact of uncertainty by doing effective planning. Thus, planning is required to reduce the risk of uncertainty. Moving on to the third, planning facilitates decision making. In order to achieve the goals in the business organization, there are various ways, there are various options, there are various alternatives. In planning, we identify all such alternatives, we make a detailed study of each alternative, we compare all alternatives, and on the basis of certain factors like viability, feasibility, risk, investment, profit, resources, we select the best alternative. So this is how planning helps in making decisions. Planning helps us to select the best alternative so that we can achieve our goals. Moving on to next, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Goals are set well in advance under planning function and are communicated to all the employees at all the levels of management. The job of each person is well defined with authority, responsibility, and accountability. So it is clear to all the employees what work they should do, whom to report, and when they should complete the work with what target. So planning ensures clarity of thought and action. So it helps in coordinating the activities of the different departments. Through planning, even we can eliminate the useless activities. Thus we can say that planning plays a very important role in reducing overlapping and wasteful activities. Planning promotes innovative ideas. Planning is not a task of a simple man, it requires high intellectual. It required high skills. It should be highly skilled. So, as planning is the intellectual process, here the manager gets an opportunity to develop new ideas, and new ideas can take concrete shape. Planning forces the manager to think differently by assuming the future conditions. So as planning is a thinking process, by thinking from all the sides, from all the angles in a 360-degree angle, it results in innovation. Planning establishes standard for controlling. Controlling means comparing actual performance with the standard performance. So planning provides the standards against which the actual performance can be measured and can be evaluated. So we can do the checking only if there is a planning. For example, you can say standard performance of a worker is 100 units per week and his actual performance is 80 units per week. Now we can say whether he has achieved or whether he has not achieved the target, because here we are comparing the actual performance with the standard performance. Here the worker has not achieved the target, that is he has only achieved 80 units. So there is a difference of 20 units. it means that somewhere something is going wrong. So we can say that whether our activities are going in a right direction or a wrong direction only when we are going to compare our actual performance with the standard performance, and that standard performance is set under planning function. Now let us discuss about the limitations of planning. The first limitation of planning is very time consuming process. Planning is very lengthy process and it consumes a lot of time. Now here the time is required to collect the data, to analyze the data, to interpret the data, and also the time is required to identify the various alternatives to achieve the goals, then to make in-depth study of all those alternatives, evaluate the alternatives and select the best alternatives. Even the time is required to anticipate the changes in the future environment, and the time is required to develop the premises. Thus we can say that planning is a very lengthy process and it consumes a lot of time, and because of that planning is a time consuming process. The second limitation, planning involves huge cost. Planning is not a task of a simple man. It required skilled people, highly professionals. And in order to carry out the planning function, companies are hiring professionals, and companies has to pay the high professional fees, and because of that we can say that planning involves huge cost. Besides this, there are also many incidental costs which are involved in the planning. For example, expenses of the meeting, money to collect the accurate facts and figures, services of the experts, and many other expenses. Thus, we can say that planning involves huge cost. The third point, planning reduces creativity. Now, the planning function is generally done by top level management, and the middle level management and the lower level management are going to implement the planning which is done by the top level management. So here the middle level management and the lower level management people cannot deviate from the plan which is framed by the top level management. So here the employees are becoming like order following machines. They are not allowed to show their creativity because they have to follow what is given in the plan. So it increases the creativity of the top level management, but it is not increasing the creativity of the middle level management and the lower level management, because the middle level management and the lower level management, they are not allowed to make a use of their own talent, knowledge and skills, but they have to implement what is decided by the top level management. The fourth limitation is planning may not work in dynamic environment. As we know that the business environment is very dynamic, it is very flexible, it is very complex. So the business environment is, as it is a very dynamic, flexible, it becomes very difficult to assess the future trends in the business environment. Now, after doing the anticipating the changes in the environment, the business will get the information like taste of the consumer, preferences of the consumer, the changes in the political environment, changes in the legal environment, changes in the technological environment. These all information the business organization is going to get. Now the business organization has to adopt all those changes in the organization according to the changes in the external environment in order to survive. So sometimes it becomes very, very difficult to assess all the future trends and events in the business environment. So sometimes we can say that environment is such a dynamic that we cannot make a use of the plan what we have decided. So our plan may fail if all the components in the business environment are going to change. Now whatever assumptions we have made during planning process, if these assumptions do not hold true, we cannot implement, we cannot go with the same plan. Thus we can say that planning may not work in a dynamic environment. Planning leads to rigidity. Now, rigidity means inability to change. Now, once the plan is made, it becomes very difficult to change. Now, assumptions are made under planning process, and these assumptions are not 100% accurate. So, if these assumptions do not hold true in the present situation, then the whole planning process may fail. So, if this planning is more rigid, then it may give a negative result. So, we can say that we have to stick to the plan, and because of that, planning leads to rigidity. Because if the things are going to change in the environment, we cannot go with the same plan, we have to make the changes in the plan, so our plan should be flexible enough. Moving on to the next, we have already discussed about the meaning of planning, advantages of planning, and as well as the limitations of planning. Now we have understood that even there are some limitations, but there are more positive points that forces us to do the planning. Planning is very, very important in the life, and we have already discussed about it. But still a big question, how we can start with the planning? So how does a manager plan in the business organization? There are series of steps in the planning process, and let us see those series of steps one by one. Planning process starts with setting of objectives, developing premises, identifying alternatives, evaluating alternatives, selecting the best alternatives, implementing plan, and follow-up action. Now let us see these all steps one by one. The first step in the process of planning is setting objectives. The objectives are set under planning process, and it is the first step in the planning process that these goals or objectives should be well defined. And the goals are set for an individuals, the goals are set for the different departments like purchase department, sales department, marketing departments, accounts departments, and goals are also set overall for the common organization, that is common goals. So the goals can be set for entire organization, or the goals can be set for different departments. Now the end results or the objectives should be clearly defined. So these goals should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and a time bound. So when we set these goals and objectives, we have to take into consideration physical resources as well as the financial resources. So when we set a goal, if we are taking into consideration the resources, it will become very easy to us to implement such plan. Now here you can see some examples of objectives. 20% increase in sales, 30% increase in production, 30 lakhs profit, 10% reduction in production cost, or there can be a 10% reduction in the selling cost, advertisement cost. There are many goals which we can set under planning process. Basically, the planning process is followed either to solve the problem or to achieve a higher target. So that setting of goals and objectives is done under first step under planning process, that is setting objectives. Let us see the second step. The second step in the process of planning is developing premises. So developing premises means to forecast the future business conditions under which the plan has to operate. So under developing premises, we are assuming the future market conditions which becomes the basis for current planning process. The assumptions on which we are doing a planning is called as premises. As we know that the things are going to change in the business environment 100%. But if everything is going to change, then there is useless to do the planning, and we cannot do the planning. So in such case, my dear students, we have to assume some of the future market conditions today, and then only we can do the planning. So planning supplies of relevant facts and figure about the future. Now here I have taken one example. Now as we will take one objective as increase sale by 20%. Now in this case, the assumptions that we can set as the premises is, we can assume that the inflation rate in the future can be 4%. This will be the assumptions. We can do the assumptions in many areas, that is, there will not be any change in the taste, preferences, habits of the customers, there will not be change any technological environment, the same machines can be used. So the assumptions about the future is called as developing premises. Moving on to the third step in the process of planning is identifying the alternative courses of action. A goal can be achieved in many ways. So we have to identify the different alternatives through which we can achieve our goals. So in planning process, we try to identify the different alternatives. Now the example what we have taken is the objective of 20% increase in sales. Now what can be the possible alternatives to achieve that target or a goal? The first option can be, the first alternative, change in advertisement. We can make the changes in the advertisement and we can achieve the target. The second alternative, we can launch a new product and we can achieve the 20% increase in sales. Or we can give discount on existing products and we can achieve the target. We can give incentives to the salesmen or the sales force, or even we can give incentives to the dealers and we can achieve the goal. Our goal is 20% increase in sales, and we have identified here 5 alternatives through which we can achieve our goal. So the next step is, after identifying the alternative courses of action, we have to make in-depth study of each alternative. That is, we will study all the positive aspect and we will study all the negative aspect of each alternative. So here we can see there are 5 alternatives: change in advertisement, new product can be launched, discount on existing product, incentives to salesmen, incentives to dealers. So these all alternatives are studied in detail by taking into consideration some of the factors like feasibility, viability, time, risk, investment, profit, and resources of the business organization. So here we are doing the comparison among the different alternatives. Now the one alternative can be good in feasibility and the same alternative may not be good in the risk. So these factors will differ in each alternative. So under 4th step, we are evaluating all these alternatives in detail. So the next step is selecting an alternative. So after making the in-depth study of all the alternatives, we are going to compare all these alternatives and we will select the best alternative. So on the basis of merits, demerits, resources, consequences, the best plan is selected. Now which is the best alternative, my dear students? So the best alternative which is most feasible, profitable, least negative consequences, and it should be within the resources of the business organization. Here we can say these all different alternatives will have the different factors, and the alternative here I have selected in the example is the new product. So new product is having the maximum positive aspect and the least negative aspect in the example. So the best alternative is the alternative which has the most positive aspect and the least negative aspects. So the best alternative in the example is the new product can be launched to increase the sale of 20%. So after selecting the plan or the alternative, there is a time to implement this plan. So the 6th step in the process of planning is implementing the plan. It means we have to apply the selected alternative or the plan. So once the plans are developed, they are put into action. So in order to put our plan into an action, we want a cooperation from all the workers in the different departments and all the people at the different levels of management. So here the selected alternative is implemented. So implementing best alternative is the new product according to our example. So you can say that here the planning process is over, but not. We have to see whether our plan is going in the right direction. So the next step in the process of planning is follow-up action. It means we are checking and monitoring whether our planning is according to the schedule. That is, we have to see whether the plans are being implemented and activities are performed according to the schedule. So if there are any changes or the deviations, now for example, in the second step of planning process, that is developing premises, we have assumed that the inflation rate is 4%, but in reality, when we will implement this plan, the inflation rate may go up to 8%. In such case, we cannot continue with the same plan. So we have to make some necessary changes in the plan. And because of this, follow-up action plays a very, very important role. So this is all about the planning process. So planning process is very, very important because through planning process, we can do the effective planning and we can achieve the goals of the business organization. So now we will discuss about the different types of plans. Before that, we will understand first what is a plan. So plan is a document that outlines goals are going to met. It also specifies the actions proposed to help organization to achieve its objectives. Now let us see one by one the different types of plans. The first type of plan is objectives. Objectives are the desired future position that company wants to achieve. So objectives are the end result towards which the activities of the business organizations are directed. So objectives are the basic to the organization and they are defined as the end result of the business. Examples of objectives: 20% increase in sale of its product, 30% profit from the business, 50% return on investment, decrease in rejection by 2%. Now let us move on to the next plan, that is a strategy. Now in order to achieve the objectives, we have to come up with a plan to achieve that objective, and that is called as strategy. A strategy is a comprehensive plan to achieve organizational objectives. Strategy is a long-term plan. It also refers to future decisions. A strategy provides a broad contours of an organization's business. Example: pricing strategies, promotional strategies, distribution strategies. So the next plan is policy. Policies are general statements that guide thinking or channelize, energize towards a particular directions. It is usually stated in general terms. They are guides to the managerial action and decisions in the implementations. A policy examples: purchase policy, promotional policies, recruitment policies, or the pricing policies. Now, the McDonald's, they have a policy. They are not giving their franchisee to the people those are already running the restaurants. The next type of plan is procedures. So procedures are routine steps on how to carry out activities. They are in detail the exact manner in which the work to be performed. They are specified in the chronological order. They are generally meant for the insiders to follow. They are the steps or the sequence. So the procedure examples: procedure of selection of vendor, procedure of quality check, procedure of recruitment, procedure of inquiry, etc. The next plan is the method. So it provides the prescribed ways or the manners in which the task has to be performed considering the objectives of the business organization. So it is a systematic way of doing routine and repetitive work. It deals with the task comprising one step of a procedure and specifies how these steps is to be performed. Examples: on-the-job training methods, off-the-job training methods, stock valuation methods like LIFO method, FIFO methods, weighted average methods, etc. Methods of production, depreciation methods, etc. The next plan is rules. Rules are specific statements that informs what is to be done in the business organization. Actions and non-action of an employee is called as rules. They are not allowed any flexibility or the discretion. We have to follow the rules in the business organization as they are. They are usually the simplest form of a plan. Examples: no smoking in the organization, formal dressing in the organization, use of cell phones prohibited, no spitting, etc. The next type of plan is program. Programs are detailed statements about a project which outlines the objectives, policies, procedures, rules, tasks, human resources, physical resources, and a budget to implement any course of action. So in short, we can say program is all about the goals, policies, procedures, and the rules. Examples: audit program, recognition program. The next type of plan is the budget. A budget is a statement of expected results expressed in numerical terms. So it is a plan which quantifies the future facts and the figures. As we know that in India we have a budget. Similarly, in the business organization, we prepare a sales budget, cash budget, production budget, master budget, or an advertisement budget. So my dear students, we have discussed now the different types of budgets. Last, I want to conclude, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So we have to set a goal without which we cannot do anything in the life. The goals are very important in the life. If we have a goal in the life, we will get the right directions. So without a goal, we may not move in the right directions. So therefore, my dear students, we have to set a goal, and the goals will give us the right direction and we can achieve anything in our life. If we want to become successful in our life, we have to set a goal and we have to achieve it. Thank you very much.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.